The Blackburn Buccaneer is a British, carrier-borne, high-speed, low-level strike aircraft capable of carrying nuclear weapons. The project is originally started by the Blackburn Aircraft Company in the early stages of the Cold War as a response to new cruisers being built by the Soviet Union at the time. During 1960, Blackburn and General Aircraft were absorbed into Hawker Siddeley Aviation. Under HSA, a divisional structure was created and Blackburn became Hawker Blackburn Division. Thereafter, all products were styled as Hawker Siddeley types rather than under the name of its original parent firm. To make the aircraft technically viable, a lot of innovation is made. One of the biggest innovation was the boundary layer control. Buccaneer has boundary layer control all the way along the leading edge, along the trailing edge, in front of the flaps and ailerons, and it also has boundary layer control underneath the leading edge of the tailplane. The purpose of it is to increase the lifting power of the wing at slow speeds by preventing unwanted flow separation, which enables aircraft to come in slower for landing on aircraft carriers. The next important innovation was the engine. The one Buccaneer engineers went for the first was the de Havilland Gyron Junior turbojet engines. It was a small engine, quite efficient, very advanced for its day. It has 44 kilonewtons of dry and 62 kilonewtons of wet thrust at sea level, 89 kilonewtons of thrust at Mach 2.5 and 36,000 feet altitude. Although it was an advanced engine for its day, it's understood that Gyron Juniors were insufficient to take off from British carriers which have short runways. Later on, the design was re-engineered to accommodate more powerful Rolls-Royce Spey turbofan engines. After this innovation, Buccaneers with Spey motors were designated as Buccaneer S2. It is easily distinguishable from S1 models with its bigger engine clearance. The Rolls-Royce Spey has 54 kilonewtons dry thrust and 91.2 kilonewtons of wet thrust with afterburner, which was obviously stronger than the Gyron Juniors. But this change accompanied by another change. According to the pilots of Buccaneers, in S1 model, thrust was coming immediately after the throttle was set. However, in S2 models, thrust was coming a bit later after the throttle was set, which requires more experience on S2 models for a safe flight. The other novelty was the rotating bomb bay. Weapons were carried inside for the flight in order to get rid of the drag. It also increased the Buccaneer's stealth. When aircraft came up to target, pilot turned the bomb door over and could drop them cleanly from the aircraft. Other bomb doors, which are opening to outside of the plane, were not opening to outside when the plane was performing low-level, high-speed flight due to the airflows. This design was solved this problem too. In order to enable the Buccaneer to go down the lift from the flight deck down to the hangar, wings and nose of the plane were designed to be foldable. And also, when the air brakes were opened, the length of the airplane was reducing such that it fits for the left hold. In the early stages of the design, in order to reduce the weight, some changes are made on the fin and tailplane, which resulted in a fatter joint. Later on, it is understood that at high speeds, it causes very intense vibration due to the shock waves formed both sides of the fin. Even the slightest side slips were causing asymmetric shock waves, and they were twisting the control surfaces. It was cured by adding a bullet, which is not here before, and reshaping the fairing. Refueling stick was popular among the planes at that time. It was enabling aircraft to refuel itself in the air, and it was increasing the range. Although first Buccaneers didn't have refueling sticks, it is mounted on new Buccaneers to increase its operational range. In the first stage, refueling sticks were designed such a way that they were mounted inside the nose to provide aerodynamic efficiency, and it can be extended to outside. However, it is understood that this design was causing to push the drogue away from the probe. Now, the Buccaneer has fixed refueling stick. Royal Air Force deployed Buccaneers to provide maritime strike capability and have the ability to strike deep into enemy territory in Central Europe. Their main attention was the Russian Navy elements moving towards the west. For the units stationed in Germany, however, the main duty was being ready for an overland strike operation against Russian ground elements invading Europe, which requires under-radar flights. Although they were created against the Soviet threat, Buccaneers had their first combat experience during the Gulf War.
In the early hours of January the 17th, 1991, hundreds of coalition aircraft took to the skies and headed for their targets.
In 1991, after the invasion of Kuwait by Saddam Hussein, coalition forces decided an airstrike over Iraqi forces before the land operation. US Air Force and Royal Air Force would fight on the front lines. At the time, Buccaneers were old and experienced planes. However, they were about to prove themselves. This time, their operation will be different from the usual. Instead of low-level strike flight, they will perform a middle-altitude attack run over a possible target to identify it by placing an aiming mark on the target. Once the navigator sees the target, he would point it with the laser to enable the other bomb-carrying aircraft to release their laser-guided bombs. Now, you will watch a few clips of Buccaneers' achievements in the Gulf War. Welcome to the mission flight part. Since Buccaneer is designed for low-level under-radar bombing missions, in this part we will be performing almost the same thing. Here we have an aircraft carrier, which is protected by two other frigates, and actually this is the place where we will be taking off. Here is an airport, which is under our control, and protected by some ground elements, including anti-aircraft weapons and radar systems. And here, on the other hand, the red ones, we have enemy ground elements, including radars and aircraft weapons. And also, we have two enemy aircrafts flying above. But for this mission, we will assume that the airspace is protected by our air defense system, and they can't interfere our mission. First of all, we will take off from the carrier, then try to perform low-level flights both above the sea and above the ground, since the enemy radar is capable of covering the both. And our first aim will be the radars, supposing they have two of them. After reaching the target, we will pull up to drop the bombs, and will be detected by radar for a short time, but we won't give time to lock. Then we will try to run away from other radars if there are left. Lastly, we will try to land on the aircraft carrier again, and our mission flight part will be finished.